Well, I want to thank Goodwill Industries of South Florida for having me here today. I'm Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I'm a member of Congress that represents South Florida, Broward and Miami-Dade counties, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, and Miami Beach, and the suburbs around those cities. And it's an honor to be here to witness all the great work that you've been doing for the past 6 decades and continue to do for our community here in South Florida. Thank you to your CEO, Dennis Pastrana, for hosting me and for the tour of the incredible facilities and your on-site manufacturing facilities. And thank you to Hillary Greenbaum with Miami's VA healthcare system for being here today as well. And later on we'll hear from Raymond, and I'll share with you his background in a moment. It's wonderful to be here to learn more about the programs that are helping our nation's veterans and military spouses. I really want to thank Goodwill Industries for continuing to focus on employing our veterans, particularly our disabled veterans, which is a goal that has been at the center of Goodwill's efforts nationally for nearly a century. I think it's one of the best kept secrets in America, actually, as I think you proved yet again here today. Now more than ever, Goodwill Industries' work is so critical in our communities. The war in Iraq has officially ended, and we've got more troops returning home each day from Afghanistan, and that's certainly welcome news. In Florida alone, we are home to more than 1.6 million veterans, and in my congressional district, in the 20th, there are more than 36,000 veterans. As our men and women return home, we must ensure that they have access to the help that they need to transition to civilian life. After serving our country honorably and courageously, the last thing that our veterans should have to worry about when they finally come home to their loved ones is whether or not they will be able to find a job. I'm tremendously proud to work alongside a president who shares my commitment to relieving unemployment among our veterans and who supports our military families. Just 2 weeks ago, we were all thrilled to hear President Obama announce in his State of the Union address that he would be making additional commitments to getting our veterans back to work. And on Friday, the President followed up on that commitment when he announced his proposal for a new Veterans Jobs Corps, which will help put our veterans to work in jobs on a range of projects that leverage skills that they developed in the military. This new initiative calls for significant investments in grants that incentivize communities to hire veterans for first responder and law enforcement jobs. In addition to the job creation expected in those sectors, the Veterans Job Corps could place some 20,000 veterans in jobs rehabilitating and repairing public infrastructure and protecting and preserving our national parks and public lands over the next 5 years. Finally, and I think this is so important, the President's proposal includes an expansion of the entrepreneurship training opportunities through the VA, the Department of Defense, and Small Business Administration to support our veterans as a key component of the next generation of America's small business leaders. The new commitments included in the Veterans Jobs Corps build on previous steps already underway to support our veterans in finding work. As many of you may know, right before Thanksgiving, the President signed 2 new tax credits into law as part of the Vow to Hire Heroes Act, which I was proud to support in the House of Representatives. Included in the Vow to Hire Heroes Act are the Returning Heroes Tax Credit, a new hiring tax credit that provides incentives for businesses to hire unemployed veterans, and the Wounded Warrior Tax Credit, which doubles the existing tax credit for long-term unemployed veterans with service-connected disabilities. These incentives will help our businesses right here in South Florida and organizations like Goodwill Industries who work to train and place our veterans in jobs in our community. With more reasons than ever for businesses to hire veterans, we need community partners like Goodwill Industries to help our veterans make the successful transition to employment in our local workforce. Last January, the White House launched a Joining Forces initiative led by the First Lady and Dr. Jill Biden, which set forth a call to action to communities to do their part to reduce barriers to our veterans and military spouses when facing a struggle to find employment. Goodwill Industries was one of the first community partners to step up to the plate and offer its services, and that is no surprise. In response to the Joining Forces initiatives, Goodwill Industries launched Goodwill for Heroes and Their Families, a new national program aimed to expand Goodwill's job training, placement, and employment services to thousands of American veterans, as well as their spouses and families. Right here in South Florida, Goodwill Industries has provided face-to-face services to over 100 veterans and military spouses in the past 6 months alone. I'm tremendously proud that we have such a great local partner in the effort to put our veterans back to work. Now, I've been looking forward to my visit here and your tour of the on-site manufacturing facilities because one of the incredibly special things about Goodwill of South Florida is that not only are they providing critical services to our veterans, they're also helping our troops in the field. Each day, workers are producing an estimated 7,000 military uniforms and American flags. They also manufacture, as Dennis so aptly put it, the most important flag in the United States, the interment flag of the United States of America, that is used to drape the caskets of military personnel and veterans. This work being done here for our troops in the field honors them, as well as honoring our fallen soldiers, and it is a privilege to be here to witness it today. As we welcome home our service members from Iraq and Afghanistan, we cannot forget that bringing them home is only the first step in our commitment to ensuring their safe and smooth re-entry into civilian life. Thank you to Goodwill Industries for your leadership. You answered the call to make a real difference in the lives of our veterans here in South Florida and across America. And I also want to thank all of the South Florida businesses that are working with Goodwill Industries and making hiring our men and women who have served our country a greater and more significant priority for all of us. With the passage of the Veterans Jobs Bill this past November, there are greater incentives than ever for our local businesses to take the next step and hire a veteran service member. Please know that as a member of Congress, I will always honor the service of our men and women in uniform and work to protect and support them, whether they are veterans 50 years removed from service, currently on active duty, or in the reserves. And now it's my privilege to turn it over to Dennis Pastrana, the CEO of Goodwill Industries of South Florida. Dennis?
Thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
Congresswoman, it is our privilege, it is our honor to have you here in Goodwill Industries. And we are very grateful that you have chosen Goodwill Industries to make your announcement about veterans, reinforcing what we have committed to do already. Goodwill Industries has, during the last 10 years, the opportunity to serve our armed forces in a very unique way. We have manufactured large quantities of military uniforms that have been used in combat, and we continue to supply our soldiers. We are very pleased to see that that part of our engagement is going to be completed soon, and we are beginning to make preparations to help our veterans. We hope that our veterans come back, they are going to find proper jobs, and they are going to reunite with their families rapidly. But we have special and unique capability to help individuals who have barriers to employment, who face many challenges, and that is the unique area in which we hope we are going to be helping, not only our veterans, but the members of the families of our veterans. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity, and we look forward to work with the Veteran Administration and all of the organizations that are really responding to this call. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dennis, and thanks for having me here. Next, we'll hear from Hillary Green Brown, a supervisory vocational rehabilitation specialist with Miami's VA healthcare system. Hillary? Thank you.
Good morning. First, I would like to thank Congressman Debbie Wasserman Schultz for shining a light on veteran unemployment and the Miami Goodwill for their continued support of veterans in South Florida. From the time our veterans take the oath to defend our Constitution and put their lives in harm's way to protect our freedoms, they are trained and taught how to lead, how to make decisions, and how to contribute to a team. These abilities are universal, and employers need to know that our veterans are an untapped resource, ready to help grow your business using skills and knowledge they learned in the military. I know this because I help veterans every day to find employment, go to school, or get the training they need to serve their country once again, only this time in the civilian workforce. With the passage of the post-9/11 GI Bill, our country made an investment in our future by providing our veterans the opportunity to get education and training they need to compete in the global workforce. More than 600,000 veterans have taken advantage of this comprehensive benefit to get a degree, certificate, or specialized training to open doors in the civilian workforce. For those veterans who return from military service with the scars of service, both visible and invisible, VA has a comprehensive program administered by the Vocational Rehabilitation and Employment Division that brings together health care, mental health service, education, training, and other programs in a personalized plan for that specific veteran. In South Florida area alone, there are 1,600 active participants in this Vet Success Program. But as the President and Congresswoman have recently said, we as a country and a community have to do our part. Between the medical experts at the Miami VA healthcare system and my partners at the Veterans Benefit Administration, we work tirelessly to ensure our veterans are ready to transition to civilian life. But we need civilian employers to extend a hand up to those who have made the sacrifice of service. So once again, I would like to thank the Congresswoman and everyone for stepping forward to help our veterans into the civilian workforce. I know together we can find jobs and meaningful employment for those who have worn the uniform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hillary, and wrap up, I want to introduce Raymond Moreau Jr., who is a disabled veteran of the Army, served in the first Gulf War Operation Desert Storm. He retired as a sergeant, went through the vocational rehabilitation and employment program at the VA, and now he is the coordinator of that program, helping to make sure that other veterans returning home have an opportunity to find work. Raymond? Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here, both as a veteran and also as a coordinator, helping other veterans come in. There's quite a bit of barriers to get from transitioning from military to the civilian sector. It's misunderstood at times how difficult it is for our veterans, and we're here. My job is to help them believe in themselves that it's not over. It's a new beginning. Whether it's resumes, interviews, whatever it needs for them to get in the marketplace, and we work as a team to make sure that happens and a smooth transition. And I'm very happy to be part of partnering with Goodwill Industries for many years, getting our veterans, and we do have a few veterans working for Goodwill as well. So thank you again for this opportunity and taking care of our veterans.
Thank you very much. And I was just closed, but before we take any questions, if there are any from the media, although we might be able to do that afterwards. Dennis, I have to tell you that this is an incredibly impressive facility. But what was touching as well as impressive was the incredible group of employees that you have here who obviously take tremendous pride in their work. They all have unique challenges of their own. 85% of the employees here face some type of mental or physical disability, and to see them be able to spend their day at work with pride in that work, being able to serve our country in their own way as well, is really, it helps expand our patriotism on so many levels. And gives us an opportunity to help lift up every member of our community.
By the way, I have something that I would like to present to you on their behalf. Okay. This is a flag of the United States of America, made by people with disabilities and Goodwill.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.